Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. I'm Steve Shaw. It is, Friday, June 11th. I have to always check, and a little known secret, my microphone is actually in the way of the clock. That's why I always look down like a dork. So I'll be on as long as you guys have questions. I appreciate you following every Friday. If you're new to Massive Iron Live, just don't be shy. Post up your questions. Let me know what you got going on, where you're from, where you're tuning in from. You can post questions on diet, training, nutrition, supplementation, off topic, whatever, doesn't matter. Just know that YouTube can be very funny. I don't know. Every week somebody says I'm not answering their questions. It's not me, I assure you. So if you aren't seeing your question, post it up again. Try shortening it. You can also head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, and I'd be happy to answer your question. All right, let me know where you guys are tuning in from, how things are going with your training, and we will jump in. YouTube's a little bit slow today to let people know. I'm also streaming this on Facebook. And what else am I streaming this on? I'm also streaming this on Twitch. So I'm over there annoying the kids with Twitch. If you're on Twitch, I believe I'm at Ben the Barman. So head over there. YouTube, we got a whopping 13 people. Sometimes YouTube just takes forever to let people know what is going on. I just want to let you guys know that I put out a video about coaching. I'm pretty much bursting at the seams with coaching and pretty much full, but I appreciate all those who had interest and signed up. If you guys need extra help beyond coaching, you can head over to my website, Super Living Today. I got my books. I got my workouts, all kinds of good stuff. And if you want a Massive Iron t-shirt, you can head over there as well. What do I got up here? I got some kind of a cootie up there. All right. What's going on, guys? We got Stein from Norway. Hey, Stein, thanks for tuning in. We got a whopping 16 people. YouTube's notified exactly 0 people this morning, so it could be up. I just got a notification that I'm live. Thanks, YouTube. So it could be a slow morning, so maybe I'll just babble on. Oh, a new viewer here. Brips, any tips or advice for squatting and deadlifting on a Smith machine? Planet Fitness is the only gym within 10 miles of my home. Well, when you don't have access to a barbell, the first thing you need to understand is that you don't necessarily have to be tethered to squatting and deadlifting with a Smith machine. My best advice is to try to put together a program without a Smith squat and without a Smith deadlift. The Smith deadlift isn't really my favorite exercise. Can you squat on a Smith machine? Yes. It's going to involve putting your feet a little bit forward and finding a nice groove so you can really work your quads. But I would rather have you put together a good quality leg workout without Smith squats and then try to learn Smith squat technique at the end. The problem with something like the Smith squat is that it's going to take you a while to figure out how to actually use it properly. And during that time, you're not going to be getting a lot out of it. So do your leg workout. At the end, try some Smith squat technique. And then when you feel super comfortable with it, you can add it into your workout as an official exercise. The Smith deadlift, forget about it. You can do rows, you can do lat pull downs, you can do pull-ups, seated cable rows, machine rows, all kinds of good stuff at Planet Fitness. But a Smith deadlift, forget about it. No way. I would not do that at all. All right, Kelly Larson, how's it going? Oh, Amanda, I missed you. Sorry. How do you return to working out after being sick? A good question, and it really depends on how long you were sick. If you've been sick just a few days, if it's less than a week, you just continue with the next workout in the cycle. So let's say, for example, you do a back workout and a chest workout or an upper workout, and then you get sick. What do? You do the next workout in the cycle, which would be legs or whatever else you got. If it's longer than a week, or if it's a couple weeks, what you want to do is take a lighter week when you're back. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people trying to jump into the normal workout, regular weight, and you're going to get some detraining effect after, I can't say specifically after how many days, but if you're looking at a couple weeks away from the gym, you want to kind of give your muscles and your connective tissue a week or two to get back up to speed. And don't worry, they'll get back up to speed quickly, but maybe just take a lighter week, a feeler week. All right, Daniel Berlin. Good morning. How's it going, Daniel? New client of mine. And we got Brips. I'll go ahead and give you a follow on Twitch. Thank you. And just a reminder, guys, I'm here every Friday at 11. Yo, from Poland. What's going on, Poland? I don't know if I've ever had a client from Poland. I've had clients from all over the world. Just picked up a client from Croatia, Singapore, China this week, all over the world. So that's one of the beautiful things about doing online coaching is I get to work with people from all over the world. If I look miserable, it's hot as heck in my office. I got an air conditioner, or I got a vent right here, but the air doesn't have enough power to really go through the back of the building. And my allergies are absolutely killing me. It's just that time of year. You go outside in Ohio and there's cottonwood flying everywhere. It's madness. And my eyes feel like they're sunken into my skull right now. All right, Bree from Mongolia, client of mine. Thanks for tuning in. And Bree actually told me to watch or recommended Black Summer on Netflix, which is a zombie show. And I was like, I don't know about a zombie show. And then we started watching it. It's actually pretty interesting, a unique way of telling a story. We just got to the episode where all the folks met up at the diner. So we're pretty pleased with that show. Hopefully it'll keep up. Ruck, is 60 kg by 20 on the first set of a high bar squat okay? It depends on what your warm-ups are, really. Is it okay? It can be okay. Just make sure you warm up properly. And what I would probably do if you're going to do a 20-rep set of squats, I would do a warm-up, and then I would probably do a feeler set of 3 to 4 reps just to feel the weight on my back, get that central nervous system firing, and then I would probably jump into a 20-rep set. BKS Gaming. How's it going? Appreciate you tuning in. Gary the Rhino, happy Flex Friday. Thank you. Appreciate you tuning in. And I believe Gary was the winner of a Massive Iron shirt at one point. And you can find them over at my website. I don't make a lot of money off of them, but that's really not the point of them. All right, Jay Morrison, I just switched from a 6-day split to 4. I've done push-pull legs for years, and I want more strength. How many sets of compounds and how many sets of accessories do you recommend? I have 5 movements per session. Well, what I would recommend is starting off with 2 big hitters per major body part, chest, shoulders, back, and quads. So you could have 2 big hitters one week, and then you could rotate in 2 different big hitters the next week. So there's no issue with rotating exercises every other week. So keep that open as a possibility, or an option, I should say. And I would start with 2 major lifts, probably a dumbbell and a barbell. So dumbbell rows, dumbbell bench, barbell bench, dumbbell overhead press, barbell overhead press, etc. On squats or on legs, it could be squats and hacks, or squats and leg press, or squats, hacks, and leg press, etc. So I would start with that. After that, you can take a step down. You can do maybe a body weight exercise. I have clients, a lot of clients do dips and pull-up supersets after that. Or dips and push-up supersets. You can also do pull-ups. You could do lunges. I have a lot of clients do 100 rep sets of lunges, that sort of thing. And after that, you can throw in some isolation exercises or whatever you are in the mood for. Best traps exercise for mass. Traps are something that's best attacked with a multiple prong, multiple weapons. You have to be pressing overhead. So you want to make sure you have your dumbbell and barbell overhead presses in the mix. That'll help with trap development. If you're very serious about traps, you probably have to be doing deadlifts or some form of a deadlift variation. And then with traps, you need to get some time under tension in with barbell or dumbbell shrugs, or even Smith shrugs, or maybe two of those variations. Make sure you use straps or Versa grips on your lift because you're there to train your traps and not your grip. I have a bunch of traps protocols on this channel. Let me see if I can pull them up for you. I got Power Shrug Hell. I believe I have one called 50s. Let me see here, traps. And I got one called 5+5. So if you go to my main page on YouTube and hit the little search button, let me just share that with you guys. If you go over to the main page on YouTube and hit the share button, or the search button, sorry, which is right here. See this right here, and I search traps. And you get my best tips for traps, 3 ugly truths about building big traps, building bigger traps. You need heavy weight, 3 monster keys, or 3 keys to monster trap size. Take your shrugs to hell, 50 rep shrug finisher. This one right here is recent, bigger traps using the 5x5 method. A lot of good things. So a wealth of information. Check out the 5+5 method and Power Shrug Hell as a baseline. Morning, everyone. Gyms are open again and people are celebrating. I don't think they're open in Ontario. Wherever you're at, I forgot. But I just spoke to a new client in Ontario yesterday and still closed. So I'm not sure what the issue is with Ontario. Oh, I'm sweating. We got purple all the way today. Yo, how are you? Good, thanks. Appreciate you tuning in. And again, guys, if you're new to the channel, do not hesitate to post up your questions. No question is a dumb question. Unless it's a dumb question, then it's a stupid question. All right, Peter said, issues becoming sick just before ending my planned 4-week meso deload 3 times in a row now. That's why I don't like the planned deloads. I don't know what you're doing, Peter, but if you got something with planned deloads and mesocycles and that super complex, maybe you need to move away from that program because, periodization is something that can be very fluid. And, mesocycles, while you might enjoy them, are not a requirement for whatever you're doing. So you might have to seek something with a little bit more fluid or unplanned deloads. Peter said on another note, thanks for the great content. Thank you. And BKS Gamer, healthy rate. What did I miss? I think I missed something. So that's YouTube for you. Post it up again. How you doing? Doing good, thank you. Actually, if I can tell you a little bit of a story time before we go on to the next question. This morning in my inbox, a customer of mine that purchased massive creatine, which is right here. Hold on. Got about 20 left. So if you want to head over to superlivingtoday.com to get it. So somebody that had bought massive creatine, and this is story time, came to my inbox this morning and said, hey, can I get it shipped for free? And I'm like, no, you can't get it shipped for free. I'm not making any money off this. I've invested like $4,000 just to get the line moving. And you're basically asking me to give you the product for free at cost. And I don't even get the product for free at cost. That box right there has 10 units and I had to pay for shipping. So I said to the guy, I said, I'm going to give you a business and life lesson. Anybody that asks for your products and services for free doesn't value them. And, that's the truth. Wherever you guys are at in life, if somebody values your products and services, and somebody taught me this a long time ago, and it's a business and life lesson. If they value your stuff, they're not going to ask you to do it for free. If you're an artist, they're not going to ask you to paint a picture for them for free. They'll value your work. So I said, I made that comment. Anybody that values your work generally doesn't want it for free. And that kind of triggered him a little bit. And long story short, it escalated, and I called him an idiot. He didn't I don't know if he liked that too well, but it is what it is. I mean, I've invested my time and energy and passion into the Massive Iron brand. It's not something that I'm going to live and die by. It's just a passion project with Robert and myself. But, it's an insult when somebody wants it for free or wants it shipped for free. Like, I haven't made a penny off this. I'm out of $4,000 out of pocket off this, and everything we made off sales is going back into buying the next round. So, I wasn't really that triggered. I was just kind of giving the guy a little bit of life lesson. So he didn't like it too well. And he told me basically that I should treat my customers better. And I took note of that. And then I blocked him. All right, Rico Santana, massive 5x5, brute force, massive 531, 28 power building. Could you go into the differences? Wow, that's something that would require a whole big long video. So it's hard to. The massive 28-day power building cycle. I got a couple people doing that right now. That rotates intensity a little bit. Really hard to. Brute force is more of a body muscle building type of program specifically, where you have heavy volume and intense weeks. So there are some intensity rotations between those types of programs. HVI is very much, for someone that wants a little bit different style of training a week. You have heavy weeks, you have volume weeks, and then you have more intense rest pausey weeks. But I just recommend buying them all and throwing them on the bed in a big pile and rolling around in them like they were money. And thanks, appreciate it. Stuart, hi from the UK. Do you believe in hard gainers, even with macros, kcals, and progressive overload on point? Do I believe some people gain more slowly than others? Yes, but there are a lot of different factors involved. Like, I run into every single day people that message me and say, hey, this happened during my workout, so I backtracked or I dropped the weight. There are people that are constant, and I've made videos about this, to deload, reload, unload, back down, wait until the weight feels light, thing. There are some people that just have a problem with heavy weight, with when a weight feels heavy. And there are some people, there are many, many issues when it comes to progressive overload. Some of them psychological, some of them physical, whatever. So, and these are real issues. These are real issues that prevent people from making progress. A lot of coaching is psychology rather than just, like, if I get a client that I just give a workout and everything's clicking and they're trying to hit their plus ones, it's like, amen. This is beautiful. This is great. We're in a nice groove. But, in the real world, it doesn't always work like that. You got to make adjustments. You got to make adjustments based on physiology, finding the right mix of exercises. Some of this could be, exercise selection. And I talked about this in my last video. People feel a lot of pressure to stick to certain exercises, and they rule out other classes of exercises like dumbbells and machines, which can be just as good for hypertrophy. So some of it can be just modern day cult of barbell. But having somebody in your corner that understands all these things and that can help you with programming is a big advantage. So do I believe some people are more challenged than others? Yes. But there are many, many things you can fix. And if I get them on the right path where they're doing a good quality bulk, they have a good quality exercise selection, I expect results, and results should be expected. The body, above all things, will respond to a challenge, no matter what your situation is. And I've learned, if I've learned only one thing over the years, that I've seen athletes with very intense physical issues. I've coached Special Olympians I've trained with people with MS, you name it. And these guys are kicking ass. And the best thing to do is put that term out of your mind. If you think you're a hard gainer, come sign up coaching with me, and I will get you on the right track. And then you might see somewhere along the line, like when you reach that point, like, I don't really want to fight for that next rep on this next set. Maybe you weren't a hard gainer. Maybe you just are not working as hard as you thought you were. I'm not saying that about you, Stuart, but a good question and many facets to that question. Back spasm at the bottom of a squat. Not sure what's going on there. The first thing you want to look for when you have a back issue is, well, you could be over tightening. You could be over tightening, over bracing to the point where you're trying to kill yourself. But I would want to look, is it low back, upper back? How's your form? So that's always where we start first. And oops, that came out wrong. I got sick just before the deload. And I understood, Peter. The best thing I could say is, mesocycles and all that stuff really aren't needed. So I don't like forcing deloads. For 99% of us, forcing deloads just don't make sense. Take time off when you feel beat up, when you feel sick, whatever, when you're going on vacation, when it's your birthday, whatever. Don't overthink this stuff, and you probably don't need a mesocycle. Still waiting on my free shirt. I'll check on that. If you don't mind messaging me on Instagram, I'll check to see what is going on. I get a lot of orders, and I can't I have a hard time remembering like whose name is what. Your name is Sloth Swim, but in the real world, I get so many orders. I have a hard time remembering whose name is what. Social media names. So, do you recommend warming up for squats? Yep. I find it takes me way too long. I'd like to look at what you're doing, Amanda, as far as that goes. Warm-up is required for everything, every major compound movement. Do you need to foam roll, stretch, prehab, rehab, all this kind of stuff? Probably not. So what I would recommend, you need to do warm-up sets at minimum. Like, you need to get your body temperature up. But a lot of times, just the act of walking into the gym, moving around, moving to the station, loading plates, finding clips, by then your body temperature's up. So you really don't need the 5 to 10 minutes on a treadmill, in my opinion. But after that, you do need warm-up sets. So I'd be happy to look at your warm-up protocol and tell you what you could chop. Milo, hey, from Sweden. That Black Summer is from... Let's see, used to have low back pain, but it hasn't really been an issue lately. Excuse me. Allergies. Tim, what's going on, Tim in Chicago? The Cubs are tied with the Brewers for first, but that won't last for long, as the Brewers are sure to overtake them. Ruck, would you recommend squats or something else for quad development like extensions? Squats are okay, but they put me out of breath. Squats will always put you out of breath. I'm going to tell you, Ruck, and I'm going to be honest, that's not a reason not to do an exercise. That's like saying running makes me feel out of breath, so I'm not going to run. Well, the best alternative is to sit on the couch drinking beer and eating pizza. That ain't going to put you out of breath either. But in all honesty, and not trying to be an asshole, that's not a reason not to do an exercise. I've been doing them for 35 years. They still put me out of breath. That's just the demands of that exercise. Do I recommend doing multiple exercises for quads? Absolutely. I want you to do squats and leg press, squats and hack squats, and then you can add leg extensions or lunges in if you want. But you don't not do an exercise because it's hard. That's in life, you'll get nothing out of that at all. Stuart says, got it. Free t-shirt hasn't arrived. Well, just know, guys, that I don't keep them stocked here. They go to my fulfillment station. So, Stuart, hit me up on Instagram. Let me double check your order and make sure that there wasn't an issue. Usually they're there in 3 weeks. It takes them usually 7 to 10 days to fulfill them and then get them out. All right, heavy low reps beginning of the week and higher high. No. Stop all this. Stop it. No. What I mean, this is way overthinking. It's okay to do. It's okay to do. Let me backtrack a little bit. Like I hate this strength work and hypertrophy work idea. There's only progressive overload. So low rep sets, what are your low rep sets? You still have to progress on low rep sets. That's hypertrophy work. Okay. You still have to progress on higher rep work. That's hypertrophy work. Strength work is like when you're doing a single or double and you're already squat 570. Okay. So I'm not being hard on you, Trung. I'm just kind of educating you a little bit. You can certainly doing multiple, doing lower reps, 6 to 8 for a compound, and then adding in some higher reps is okay. But, you don't need anything super low reps. It's all hypertrophy work. That's what we have. One thing that triggers me is whoever injected into this realm that there's strength work and there's hypertrophy work. Yes, some things are strength work, right? Some things are more focused on strength work when you're trying to move a weight at any cost, regardless of feel. But when it comes to rep ranges, there's value in maybe varying your rep ranges a little bit. There's more value in varying your exercise selection, but unless you're a near advanced lifter and you need to maybe inject some lower rep stuff into your training, it's all hypertrophy work. And the people that injected this cancer into lifting, should be kneecapped. Can I build big legs without squats and instead hack? Yeah, absolutely. I made a video about this last video. Squats aren't for everybody. And if you don't want, it's fine if you don't want to do squats, but you need to be doing things like hack squats and leg presses or whatever. So absolutely. But you're going to have to work just as hard at the other lifts as you would at squats. Just know that. Black Summer is side series from Z Nation. Thank you. Appreciate it. Great trap advice. Thank you. Appreciate you tuning in. And guys, if I sound like when you ask questions, like I never want to sound like I'm going after the poster because I'm not. And I'm never frustrated with the question. What I get frustrated with is there's so much crap that people inject into lifting that it confuses you guys. And it gets a little bit frustrating at times that you guys have to deal with all this stupid crap, strength work and hypertrophy work. My kids show interest in exercising with me. I let them lift a lightweight, probably just want to copy my movements. Any advice? That's how my daughter got into powerlifting. I would go down to the gym and they would join us. I would get some super light dumbbells, super light. And get them, it's okay to have them play around with body weight stuff, light dumbbell stuff, super light dumbbell. And just, encourage it. If they want to do it, find some things they could do. Kids like movement, and they're not going to understand the difference between you doing a back squat and them doing a goblet squat with a 1 pound, dumbbell. So just encourage them, but don't try to turn them into power lifter. My daughter had an interest, and she did goblet squats for a year before I even let her get close to a barbell. Thoughts on switching exercise order, first 2 compound lifts every once in a while. You can do it, but you have to be smart about it. I mean, like if you're benching 225 and next week you want to move it to the second exercise in your list, you have to understand that you're going to have some pre-fatigue there, so you might have to adjust the weight a little bit. So just be smart about it. How sure 50-plus workout? I'm not sure what you mean, Doug. Maybe you can clarify. Can the abductor machine help with quad sweep? I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you, Tyler. I don't mess around with much of that stuff. You certainly can if you have time. If anything, the abductor machine, if they're going to help with anything, you're going to have to get super strong at them. You're going to be super challenging. So for me, when I go into the gym, I'm doing squats, I'm doing leg press or hack squats, I'm doing leg extensions, lunges. I'm beating the living crap out of my body. Then you got RDLs and leg curls. That's what I do on leg day. And for me, my wheelhouse, what I like to do, what I like to get people focused on, doesn't have a lot of room for all the hips and abductor stuff and stuff like that. I think your quads are going to be best worked with a good plan of attack, like leg press, like hack squats, like squats, like leg extensions, like lunges, maybe even sissy squats or Bulgarian split squats. And after that, I will say, if you have energy, then by all means go over to the other pieces of equipment and give it a try. Rico, BKS Massive creating the cookbook, the shirt, and the program. They're worth it. Thank you. I appreciate it. I sincerely appreciate it. You know, little guys like me, you know, when somebody wants me to give them something for free, and like, you know, I'm not exactly Mark Cuban here, right? I'm not exactly Greg Doucette buying luxury cars. I'm just a normal guy, you know, with a middle-class income that gets to teach lifting for a living, and that's a blessing. Jay Morrison, how often can I add 5 pounds to my lift as an intermediate? How often? Well, Jay, if you are benching an intermediate, let's say you're doing 225 by 5, 1 rep a month is going to add about 5 pounds to your max. Let me go to the handy dandy 1 rep max calculator to help you guys understand this. And this is something I've taught before. Let me pull up the screen share. Okay, so 1 rep max calculator. Let's say you got 225, okay? And your top set is for 6 reps. 6 reps. So you're an intermediate lifter. That's your first set on bench. That's your big set on bench. Now notice here, your 1 rep max is 261.3. If you add 1 rep to that set, let's watch. Your max goes up to 270. So 1 rep to that set bumped your max up a lot. What you need to understand is, how often can I add 5 pounds to my lift as an intermediate? Well, if you're at 225 by 6, and let's say you move that up to 10, you added 4 reps. You added 40 pounds to your bench. That's pretty good progress as an intermediate for a year. I mean, I'm not saying that's the least you should expect, but you know, you look at adding like 6-7 reps to a set as an to a set, and obviously you're going to add a rep, and then you might add weight, and then you might add 2 reps, and then you might add weight. There's some back and forth going on here, right? But what you need to understand is that as an intermediate lifter, rep increases are gold, and they're not going to be very often. Many people believe they have plateaued when they reach the intermediate stage. The issue is they don't understand what we're looking at right here. So the best thing I can say is every 6 weeks, let's look at it like this. Let's say you're at 225 by 5, okay? That's a 253 bench. Reasonable intermediate level, you know, bench. And let's say you added a rep every 6 weeks. So we'll just say 8 times a year, okay? You move that up from 225 by 5 to 225 by 13. That's like a 70-pound increase on your bench. That would be a really good rate. I would probably say every 8 weeks or every 2 months. But it really has to do with the structure of the program. So I hope this is making sense to you guys. What's the lowest amount of calories you ever seen a man, woman eat while cutting at a healthy rate? Well, if you look at the average woman over the age of 40 that has a desk job and doesn't exercise, they literally have the metabolism 1 level above a tree slug. And I'm not, it sounds like I'm being funny here, but it's true. They are extremely challenging to work with, because if you have a woman that is a tree slug, meaning not moving at all, they need to get moving. They probably need resistance training. And all of a sudden you're making them work out 6 times a week where they've worked out 0. And then one of the challenges with resistance training in women, and I know this is a generalization, but it can be true, is that you give them a plan and you tell them to add weight, and then they're like backtracking because it felt too heavy. And like progression, like men are more aggressive with progression. Women are inundated with all this crap on social media. And, it's not focused. Female fitness content's not focused on progression generally, which is a shame. So women, I've seen women that need to be at 1050, 1100 just to lose a half pound a week. Men, 1650, 1700 is probably the low end. I've had somebody's spamming me here on Instagram. Sorry, I just keep getting Instagram DM pop-up notifications. Men, I've seen guys at 1650, 1700 that were bigger guys that took a while for them to lose weight. But again, it comes down to movement. I mean, I will see some guys that lift 3-4 times a week and have metabolisms of slugs, and they think because they lift that they should be able to eat more. But lifting, A, burns very little calories, and B, you need to move your fat ass beyond lifting. It's true. You need to get that ass moving beyond lifting. You need to do some reasonable form of exercise. I just had a client this morning who's lost 30 pounds with me, and he noted that even the addition of 15 minutes of elliptical a day made a huge difference. And yes, the whole calories in, calories out, we get it. But in the real world, you have things like tipping points where if you just add 15 pounds, 10 pounds of elliptical, it can make a big difference to weight loss, where you're like not moving the scale at all to moving the scale consistently. That's what happens in the real world. Generally, the people that are sluggish, they need to move more. They really need to move more. They overestimate how much they move on a given day. We all need to move more. Is there a way to remove tight glutes causing spasms when doing hip hinge exercises? That's very unusual to have such tight glutes that it causes spasms. So if you're getting muscle spasms, you could just be weak, because a lot of times, like when you go lift, anybody that's lifted for a long time, you'll notice like sometimes you just have these phantom muscle spasms. It's just all part and parcel of lifting. If it's something that's happening every single time, it could be a case where you're weak, just generally weak. And that's not an insult. That's just a possibility. And the only thing that could really impact it is just getting stronger over time. Beyond that, if you're getting muscle spasms and it's not weakness, that's out of my realm. All right, Daniel, a client of mine, my favorite channel right here. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. And you can tell where Daniel's from because he slides a U into favorite. My wife does that as well. Bilal, I just featured Bilal on my Instagram yesterday, looking like a machine. He's having a hard time getting in enough calories to gain weight. Is it possible to dismantle the cult of barbell and the cult of 5x5? It'll happen over time. I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with 5x5s and barbell-only programs, but they're just not the best. They're not the most efficient. Dumbbell stuff is good. There's a lot of hypertrophy experts that are beating the same drum. Even when I make comments with Paul Carter, he gets it. He understands that I'm talking about. The hypertrophy experts understand. But, man, you got some pretty strong dogmatic people out there in this industry that just want to believe that everything is barbell. A barbell forces your arms into a fixed position. I love barbell exercises. I love them. They start off every one of my programs, but they force you into a fixed position. Dumbbells have benefit as well. So do machines. And arbitrary rep ranges, it's generally better to be within 6 to 12 rep range for hypertrophy. And we've known this forever. Just because one guy got a five, just like it's all Reg Park's fault, 5x5 and whatever. It's a fine program, but don't make everything 5x5. I mean, really. If I respond better to higher weights and lower reps, is it necessary to add higher reps? Well, you got to do rep increases at some point. I mean, you got to have some progression indicator. So let's say you're doing 200 by 6 on bench. And at some point, you're going to have like, when I hit 200 by 7, I need to go up in weight or whatever. There needs to be some focus on increasing reps. Beyond that, if you don't have any sets in your program where you're pushing for as many quality reps as possible, you're not getting maximal muscle fiber recruitment, and you're not getting the most out of your program. So when you say you respond better to higher weights and lower reps, I'm a little bit curious where you're drawing this conclusion from. You might like doing it, but I'd like to see your program. Because ultimately, if you're truly responding better to higher weights and lower reps, you're going to have the mass and you're going to know that you need to stay there. So I need to understand what I respond better equates to in the real world, and what your weight and rep scheme is to make an intelligent analysis. Thoughts on upright rows for traps. Upright rows are an okay exercise. They get a lot of hate, but if you do them properly, they're as safe as any other program. Let's see. Sorry, I just had to pop up some weird YouTube notification. They're not going to be the best exercise for traps, but it's like, if you're trying to build big triceps, you have to look at the broad picture of all the exercises that are working your triceps. There are a lot of shoulder exercises that work your traps. A lot of people do not work shoulders. They're pressing hard enough to get a lot of value out of it for shoulders, and certainly not for traps. So focus on building your overhead press and dumbbell overhead press as strong as possible. Maybe toss in a machine overhead press, and then you could tuck in a little bit upright rows, certainly. Dealing with heat and humidity when lifting. My garage gym is open to the environment. One thing you can do is just turn on the metal music and turn it into a slaughter fest of noise and heat and chaos. I don't know. The best thing you can do is you have to be aware of your enemy, and that's heat and humidity. And one thing people don't do enough, lifters don't do enough, is take hydration and electrolyte fueling seriously when they are training in that type of environment. When I go run long distances, water and electrolytes are a big thing. The electrolyte powders tend to make me sick, but I found things like snacking on Cheez-Its or combos, not a lot, but a few, can help. And it might not be a bad idea to pop a little bit of that before your workout just to get that stuff in your system, or maybe a few of those, 10, 15 minutes in. Or your favorite, you don't want to stuff your stomach, because when you are lifting, here's the issue. When you're lifting in the heat and humidity, your body's going to be trying to cool. Okay. So it's going to use its resources and blood to try to cool. And it's going to be using its resources and blood to try to, in the muscles. So anything in your stomach is going to be kind of, the last in line in that whole thing, that whole mix. So you might want to have a little bit of electrolytes or something 15 minutes before you enter the fray, maybe half an hour before you enter the fray, 45 minutes before you enter the fray, in a cool environment. Let them digest. And then when you hit the gym, you're in a little bit better shape. But I would hydrate as well at that point. But just know that if you're in the middle of a workout and you're starting to feel torched, and dehydrated, your body is really, really, really using that blood to keep you cool and to fuel your muscles. And you can digest, you can drink water, but it's not going to digest as rapidly. Any ultra runner will tell you this. So just know you have to be really, really careful to go into your workouts hydrated and with proper electrolytes in your system. Brett, third time posting, starting on 5x5. Any pointers? Yes. Use my massive iron 5x5 program. And beyond that, I'd have to look at the program itself. There are good 5x5s and there's bad 5x5s. Squats going to continue. Good. Glad to hear that. And you only have 19 massive creatine left. Just bought my second. Thank you. I appreciate that. I sincerely do. Ahmad, should we all be combining different rep ranges in one workout? Don't think of it like that. What you want to do is find a rep range that works for you on a specific exercise. So you're not trying to unlock some magic perfect key, right? I made a post about this on Instagram this morning. Consistency is far more perfect than perfection. A lot of people are trying to search for progression, and they spend so much time trying to unlock this magic key. Just get into the gym, lift weights, and adjust. Okay, bench, I like 6 rep sets, or I like doing a 6 and then a back off sets. Or on dumbbell bench, I like to do 10s. Get in the gym, have a reasonable starting point, and then adjust. So don't try to unlock the magic key. Develop the magic key over time and with what feels good on your body. I mean, is using a variety of rep ranges good? Well, there's no downside, but if you don't have the other pieces in the puzzle in place, like hard work and progressive overload, it's just another random thing that's going to, distract you. Hello from Sweden. Black Summer is a side series from Z Nation. Look it up. Thank you. Bill, starting your idea of bi-weekly main compounds on my push days. Flat bench, barbell, incline dumbbell, then vice versa. Standing over. Do you find there's great carryover progression-wise? I find I feel better when I rotate exercises because if you do the same lift over and over and over again, I don't feel as fresh. So I find that I actually, like, some people will panic if they don't bench every week, that they're not going to make the same progress. That's really not the case. If anything, it'll be the same or maybe even just a hair better. When I say a hair better, you're talking, small percentage points. But in most cases, there's not going to be a drop-off. Belt squats for RDLs. I'm not really sure how you do that. My brain's trying to process that one as we speak. I don't know about that one, Park, because a belt squat, the weight's going to be hanging down. And as you move down, with that chain's going to kind of be swaying forward. So it sounds a little bit wonky in my brain. I don't like the idea in my brain at all. How much amount of time you work out for consistently affect progress? I used to train only 3 to 4 months a year. You got to work out consistently for 5 to 10 years. That's the reality. 5 to 10 years outside of minor injuries and illnesses and vacation. You need to put at least 5 years of progressive overload for good results. At the gym right now after taking my massive creatine. Good. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Excuse me. Got allergies. And have a good workout. How do you like programming slingshot bench training? What I will suggest, and I'm a big fan of my slingshot, and a study, off topic a little bit, a study just came out recently that showed that training with chains is great for strength. Shows some promising impact on overall strength. People used to give me grief for always doing the overload thing with chains and the slingshot, but it always worked great for me. So with the slingshot, if you're going to get one, I would probably use it every other week. Maintain some focus on your regular bench and then use it as more of a form of overload on your next week. You have a wonderful day, sir. Thank you. Let me get a drink here. I'm dying. It's about 250 degrees. We're going for the backup. Shoulder surgery won't let me do RDLs regular. I would find a back extension machine and do, like you can do the glute ham raise on the back extension machine by going up on your knees. I would focus on those if you could. Have you ever used mag grips, the ones with the handles? Are they worth the price? I'm not even sure what a mag grip is. Let me just see if I can find that real quick. Mag grips. Is this what I'm thinking it is? Yeah, I've used one of them on a lat pull down. I like using them on a lat pull down because of the neutral grip. Are they worth the price? Wow. I don't even know how much they cost. I've been at a gym with them. For anybody that doesn't know, I will share a link to what we're talking about here. These are kind of the mag grips, and I don't mind them. In a hot, sweaty gym, you might need a little bit of chalk. But where is the price? I don't even know. Boutique gyms, mag grips. I don't know the cost. Maybe somebody could fill me in on the cost. Are they worth the price? Well, I would say if they're less than $100, or maybe I might pay $120 for them. Probably worth the price. They look very durable and well made. Do you believe in nucleus? No. I mean, do I believe in it? This and blood flow restriction, it's just a waste of time. It's not needed. I mean, there are things that just aren't needed, just simply aren't needed. No one's ever needed it, and no one probably will ever need it. And it's just, I mean, these concepts, that we get caught up in nucleus overload training and blood flow restriction, and I got to do mesocycles. You don't need to do shit. You don't need to do shit. The basics of hypertrophy are pretty simple. And, too many people spend their time chasing this stuff or researching this stuff rather than just doing the basics. And then they'll get the 60-pound dumbbell bench and say, it felt heavy. I'm just going to stay here until it feels lighter and blah, blah, blah. Doesn't work like that. So I'm old school, but I'm old school grounded in what works, like over the last 50, 60 years, the big picture. And, focusing, like the average person needs to get their dumbbell bench to 100 pounds for 10 reps, okay? Then if they want to fucking worry about nucleus overload training, then they can worry about nucleus overload training. But the time it takes them to get their strength levels up to where it needs to be, they won't need to worry about nucleus overload training because they already got the mass they need. Does that make sense? Uh-oh, we got a visitor here.
He's going crazy.
He's going crazy.
He's going crazy.
What's up? Why are you going crazy?
Because of the festival.
Oh, we got a country festival right now.
And everybody who walks past, he goes crazy.
Yeah.
Say hi, Bubba.
You got to get your big head. Here, give me a moment. Oh, come here. What's going on? Why are you going crazy?
Because he is.
Oh, there he is.
Look, Bubba.
This is Bubba Sausage. You're on TV.
See?
You're not on TV. Oh, thank you for the big...
He's tall.
You goofball.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, Jay Morrison, thank you very much for that rep to weight explanation. Very helpful. I hope it's been helpful. If you guys haven't figured out now, I'm kind of a basics guy. And I'm a basics guy for a reason. Because there's too many distractions out there. There's too many distractions. There's too much bullshit. And there's 7 million freaking accounts, and everybody needs something to talk about. So they focus on this or that or the other thing, all these different programs and protocols and mesocycles and all this kind of stuff, when 99% of us can't build the muscle we want. I am the guy that helps you get to where you want to go with the basics, with the fundamentals. And I know what is required and what is not required. So that is always what I'm going to try to focus you guys on. I'm going to try to get your brains off overthinking and get your brains on getting stronger. All right, Derek. Thoughts on Granda's, I believe it's Granda's 8x8. Was going to do a couple exercises per workout. Currently doing massive AB. My program is far superior, and I stand by that. My mom does as well. But, if you want to do an 8x8, fine. Just make sure you have a progression marker. Doing a set and rep scheme without a progression approach built in isn't going to benefit you at all. It's 8x8. Granda's 8x8. I don't know. Did he have a 6x6? Did I miss something? Did I miss that day in school? Kids? I thought it was an 8x8. I didn't know he had a 6x6. I guess he does have a 6x6 as well. All right. 6x6 full body workout. Let's see what it is. 6x6. Here we go. I'm going to share the workout because I found it thanks to a search engine called Google. What do we got here? 6x6 workout A. Squats, Romanian deadlifts, pull-ups, bent over rows, bench press. Wow, that's going to kill you. Workout B, more deadlifts. I don't like that program at all. 36 sets of compound movements. It's going to be almost impossible to focus on progressive overload and getting that done without dying. Most of my clients, I give them 15, 16, 17 hard sets per workout, which is half of that. And some of them, they're spending an hour and a half in the gym at that. I don't like this program at all. I just don't, because something's going to have to be tossed overboard. So, I would definitely not recommend it. All right, what do we got here? Great video, mixing weight loss to bulking up. Appreciate you guys joining me. Maintenance calories for a 90-kilogram guy lifting 3 times a week. No idea. There's no way. That's like Harry Potter level stuff. You cannot guess somebody's maintenance level. I'm not trying to be a smart ass here, but you can't. You have to start with what I would suggest is just for a week, eat normally and track everything in MyFitnessPal. Watch the scale. And when the scale's not moving, when you're at a specific calorie level, that's your maintenance level. So lifting does very little to burn calories. For a 90-kilogram guy, I don't know your age, but I'd probably start with somewhere around 2,600 and see how that treats you. I love your video on strength standards. Would that change for shorter men? I don't know. I mean, would it change? Maybe to a small degree, no pun intended, but not much. I mean, I've trained with 5'5", 5'6" fit men's physique pros, and they were pretty darn strong. Maybe a little bit less strong, but a lot of it is going to have to do with body weight. If you're each inch adds like 5 pounds of weight to your frame. So if you're like, somebody just messaged me, any way to get free shipping on Massive Creatine. Thanks for the trolling. I appreciate it. So yeah, every inch you're going to be 5 pounds lighter. But if you at 5'5", you might see a 10% decrease in the strength standards. I'll be pretty close. Have you had clients with hyperthyroidism or thyroid issues, or does it? I mean, yeah, I've had clients with a lot of issues. I've had some really clients that have hormonally that just have been wrecked from years of mistreating their body, or I've had clients that have health issues. So, does it help to have if they're getting medication? Well, you should, if you think you have an issue, you need to go get it checked out medically. I've not had anybody jump on medication when they were with me and then see a change. The biggest change for people really comes with taking diet seriously, taking sleep seriously, and taking consistent movement seriously. That's the biggest change I see in most people. When 5x5 dies, it makes way for 4x12. Yeah, guys, don't get caught up in the 6x6 or the 8x8 or the 5x5. These are just magic rep ranges. The key to any program is going into the gym, seeing what works, and evolving it based on feel. So just keep that in mind. Is 5x3 sustainable long term when maxing out every few months? Anything is sustainable when it's done right, but that's a very minimal amount of volume, 15 reps a week. So I don't know what 3 days of intensity means and 3 days of volume. There's only progressive overload. So are you doing rest pause work? Do you have progressive overload? If you're doing 6 days a week and you have 3 intensity days and 3 volume days of progressive overload and a 5x3 mixed in there, I'm going to say, Blake, that you got a lot of monkey fuck going on in your program. Because it just sounds like that program would kill me if I was running it hard. So I would have to look at your program, Blake, and I'm not trying to make some stupid snap judgment, but that's a lot of, that's a lot of work. So I do push-pull legs for my clients, but I have to structure them properly. But volume work on push-pull legs it still has to have its focus on progressive overload. If not, it's just messing around in the gym. Do rows hit rear delts? Enough. Let's look at the counterpart to this argument, this discussion. Do presses hit the front delts enough? Every experienced advanced lifter I've ever met that has dedicated 10 plus years to their training and their benching and their military press have huge front delts. So if you look at the action of a row, it's going to a big, strong row, a myriad of types of rows, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, seated cable rows, lat pull downs, etc. Yes, they're going to definitely hit your rear delts. Do you need rear delt work? I've always done 2 to 3 sets a week, but that's like icing. That's like sprinkles on the icing on the cake, because there's not going to be a lot of progressive overload in normal rear delt exercises. So it's okay to add a little bit, but just get your rows strong. Do you need to have sets of 20 in your program? No. Generally, 5 to 12, 6 to 12 is good for compound movements. Some exercises I bump up a little bit, 12 to 15. You can do a set of 20s or burns, but they're not needed. Definitely not needed. Any of your programs running around an hour session? Absolutely. Most of my programs are custom. I mean, sometimes you might have to chop a few things, a few sets here and there. But as long as the work is hard, I don't want anybody really in the gym longer than 70 minutes. I respond better on higher weights, lower rep sets. We already went through this question. What's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Did you eat big this week and any beer? What did I eat this week? I had one bad day, I think. I had sushi, and I think I had a couple beers that day. So not that sushi is bad, but I think I had a couple beers with the sushi. How should you progress on sets of 2 to 4? You shouldn't be doing sets of 2 to 4. You probably don't need them. I mean, this stuff is not needed. What are you guys trying to achieve here? No way, don't do it. You got to be an advanced lifter to be doing this stuff. And Chris, I'm just doing an intervention. You need to dump that stuff. It's not going to benefit you unless you're already benching like 350, and then it has to be part of a well-structured program. When you get to that point, there's no rep goal system. At that point, you're an advanced lifter, and the last thing you need is a rep goal. Hey, guys, yesterday I went heavy on leg press, and I felt a twinge in my groin. Hurts a bit today. So what you did is you did a new stimulus that's not normal for you. You just decided on a whim to do something different, and then you got hurt. So the issue probably isn't form. The issue probably isn't muscle imbalance. I'm going to be honest with you. The issue is that you went in the gym and did something Completely different from what you normally do. This is something I try to stress to people. If you're going to do something completely different, you need to know the downsides, and that is you're going to increase the chance of getting injured. Like people that go into the gym and just test their 1 rep max, or go into the gym and do a completely different program. When I get clients on a new program, I want them to ease in over a period of 2 to 3 weeks. So if you went and did super heavy on leg press and you're not used to that, that's why you got a twinge in your groin or abductor. Because it doesn't have anything to do with muscle imbalances or form issues or whatever. You went in and did something that increased risk of injury, and you got injured. Got up to 102. I think we peaked at almost 119. That's incredible. Thank you, guys. How to grow big arms. Man, I got tons of videos on this channel. I would go over to the main page on YouTube and hit that little search button and search big arms. Let's just do it live here on whatever we're on, YouTube. Okay, so we're going to do that live. There we go, magic. We're at the main page. I got this little search button. We're going to search big arms. You won't get as many videos as you would on Ryan Humiston's channel, but you'll get a lot. So look at this. I've been doing this for like 7,000 years. You get tons and tons and tons of information. Free. So the biggest thing is to get strong on a lot of compound movements. That's the biggest thing. Spend 5 years getting strong. Check out the strength standards video I did with Faz. Spend 5 years getting strong on all the compound movements listed in those strength standards. Every time I hear someone start to add an extra day in the gym, it is for arm training. Why not leg or back? Right? I don't know. I mean, that's a very good question. We think we can rush it. We think we can rush the process if we only add another day. If we only. That's like thinking adding another woman's going to improve your sex life. Like you can't even handle the woman you have right now, so you're going to add another woman. You can't even, your arm day isn't even working right now, so you're going to add another arm day. Get Robert in here. The basics work. All your programs look to be fun. Thanks, Stein. Some people, they're not for everybody. They're not for everybody because my stuff is always basic and hard work, and that's who I am. And I am that way because that's what works. There's too much bullshit. Love chasing plus ones. Plus ones are life. Where is Robert? That's a very good question. Where is Robert? Lately, and here's the God's honest truth, I have increased my client load by 20, and all my free time is with clients. Like from sunup to sundown, I'm working with my clients, and that is a blessing to work for myself. But when Robert's on the channel, the channel, it's been a good thing. But the live videos got up to 3 hours every Friday. I don't have time to do that every Friday anymore. I just simply don't. So I'm going to try to talk with Robert and see what we can figure out. Richard, what's going on in Scotland? Beef McLewis, is there any merit to a skinny beginner smashing Burger King and Pizza Hut? If you have a hard time getting in your calories, as long as you're doing a slow, steady, lean bulk. The problem with this stuff is how many of these people that are smashing Burger King and Pizza Hut are tracking calories and trying to gain, a wise 1.5 to 2 pounds a month. If you are, then I'm okay with it. Have you ever trained clients that are 6 inches taller? Absolutely. I think probably a third of my clients are, maybe a fourth are over that height. Absolutely. Time under tension. Time under tension is a byproduct of a proper program and not something you need to seek. Time under tension is not the holy grail. Time under tension comes as a result of having a reasonable amount of volume and using progressive overload and maintaining control over the weight. So time under tension is a byproduct of a proper program and nothing you have to seek or ever worry about. Varying rep range is mostly a psychological benefit. That is true. And I'm not against varying rep ranges. People just need to understand that they're not magic. You still need progressive overload. So what I always do and what I do for a lot of my clients is I have programs called 3s and 4s where I go and do the heavy stuff, and then I back off 5 to 7.5% to another set, back off 5 to 7.5% to another set, etc. So rep ranges are, if you train 5-10 years, right, enough consistently and get strong enough to build muscle, all the rep range crap's going to even out, right? No one sticks to 5 reps one day and this the other day and whatever for that period of time. Psychologically, if you need to change things up, that's fine. But the problem is people get tethered to ideas rather than progress, right? And hard work. Like, I'm going to move to 5x5. I'm going to move to 6x6. I'm going to move to 8x8. I'm going to move to 4x12, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It simply doesn't matter. Progression is what matters. So can you vary things? Yeah, you can vary things however you want. Just don't be like, I'm going to do this rep range and this is going to be the game changer. The game changer is always hard work and progression. How do I get my upper right pec to catch up? No idea. Somehow I can get, if you have a difference in pec strength, that's something genetic or something you're born with or something that could be a result of an injury. The only thing you can do in life, excuse me, is focus on what you can control. What can you control? You can control exercise variety, doing some inclines, some declines, some dumbbells, some barbells, some dips, some cable crossovers, etc. You can control your effort. So you focus on the exercises that feel good for you, Sebastian. You don't, like, if you have an imbalance, find exercises that work for you, stick to those exercises, and use a reasonable exercise variety and focus on getting strong. I'm doing rep goal system for 3 to 20 rep goal, but I progress slowly. Excuse me. That's normal. Adding 1 to 2 reps a month is normal. That's normal. That's not slow. So, we just went over the 1 rep max calculator. Adding a rep sometimes can mean an increase of 5 pounds to your bench. Slow is normal in lifting once you're beyond the beginner stage. So just don't panic. Is it enough to start eating, sleeping, and training consistently to help hormones get back to normal? Is it enough? Not always. Do most people need that as a baseline? Yes. When you're troubleshooting, you always have to return people to the baseline. The baseline is take your sleep seriously. The baseline is improve your eating. The baseline is get some cardio and train consistently, get in the sun and have better sex. And over time, is that going to help your hormones balance or return more towards a normal balance? Absolutely. Will that be the case for everyone at all times? No. Let's see. Jim Boy. Hi. Akbra non something. Thank you for explaining. I hope it helps. All right, what do we got here? Basic hard work is hard to sell, but it provides endless benefit to those that buy into it. Exactly. And if nothing else, when you come to the live videos, you'll understand that he's a grumpy old man and he's trying to get you off the bullshit. And if I can unplug you from bullshit, or I can unplug any of you guys from bullshit, I've accomplished my mission in life. All right. How to fix knee pain during squats. Aaron, very good question. More than any other lift, the squat is like new clients come to me and I see a lot of bad squats. This is not a bashing of anybody. It's like there's so many squat tips out there and so much confusing information that people come to me and their squat looks like a mess. So knee pain is usually a function of a bad squat or a squat that needs improvement. And you really need somebody to look at it that knows what they're doing to establish a good baseline. Fix a few things. How to overcome an overhead press plateau. I've been stuck at 140 and can't seem to push through. I don't know what you're doing. 140 for how many reps? Maybe you can let me know what the set and rep scheme is. If I'm sore in one area for more than 2 days and have to take a day off, am I training too hard? Not normally. I mean, I've had, it's pretty normal when you're training hard to sometimes have things sore for multiple days, 3, 4, 5. Training too hard? No. If I'm sore, at that point, you might be, if you're doing like an upper lower type of split or a full body, you might be doing too much volume in one day. That's a possibility. Do you get stronger with a bigger beard? Well, I think scientifically, there's evidence that women and men, I don't know, whatever your thing is, like a bigger beard. So I would say there's carryover. There's definitely carryover. I understand this might not be your expertise, so feel free to skip, but any ideas on how to help someone who has been forced to eat or not allowed to eat, getting back to normal eating habits? I don't know. I don't know what the situation is, but helping someone get back to normal, helping someone to do anything can be a struggle, because especially if, first and foremost, they have to be open to change. And if someone's not open to change, there's nothing you can do to help them. There's nothing. Normal eating is real food, right? That's normal eating. It's not fast food all the time. It's not junk food all the time. That's abnormal eating. So I would need to know more. If you want to hit me up on Instagram, I've been the barman. This sounds like a very specific case, and I'd prefer to talk about it a little bit behind the scenes. My bench is stronger than my squat. Both are done with proper form. Is that abnormal for a woman? Yes. It can be. A big bench is harder for a woman, but and I've mentioned this before on our strength standards for women. Some women, like my wife, just are not built for the squat. They're just not built. And some women are built from the squat, and they can squat like 225 right out of the gate. So I think it's more of a function of your squat. I wouldn't call it abnormal at all. When you place your traps on the bench for a bench, how high on the traps do you need to get? I only feel that upper pec if I almost get to the shrugging position before I bench. That's a little bit extreme. I mean, the problem with trying to get super tight and in that super contorted position is that you have to maintain it for 6, 8, 10 reps. So everybody's unique. Everybody's an individual. If that's how you feel best on your bench, then go with it. But for the average individual, they don't need to get anywhere near that level of tightness. You just really want to pack. You want to focus on rowing the bar to your chest, and you don't have to get that crazy. Raylo, thanks for the donation to the channel. I appreciate it. If I can only do 5 to 6 reps in bench, skull crusher, should I wait until I can do 8 to 12 to move up more in weight? In other words, when do you know I can increase weight? Well, you can set whatever progression marker you would like, Raylo. So if, let's say you're doing 200 on bench for 5 or 6 reps, I would try to get that top set to, like a lot of my clients, we do a 5 to a 7 on the heaviest set. So they will start off with like a 5 rep set, and they'll try to get it to 7 reps, and then they'll move up. So you can set that progression marker wherever you want. I would set it at least 2. That way you can move like from 5 to 6 to maybe 7 or 8, and then move up in weight, if that makes sense. You can go higher. It's just going to take you longer to progress. There's really no downside to that, because if you move from 5 to 6 to 8 to 12, you're going to be increasing your bench strength a lot. And that's the one thing you need to understand. So there's no real downside other than you might feel that mental frustration that you're hanging at a certain weight too long. OHP 4x6. So you got pretty good overhead press strength. And if you are struggling to increase weight, I would look at how does your tricep program look. At that level, you can only expect 1 to 2 reps per month. So I would have to know a little bit more information. When's the last time you added a rep? Do you have any siblings? If so, do they lift? I have 2 sisters. One of them doesn't really like exercise, and the other one is more of a runner and a hiker. Creatine pre or post workout? I would take it post workout with like your post workout meal. I think that's pretty safe. If you use straps, if grip limits death, you say to use straps if grip limits deadlift, but would there be a point where the deadlift is too weak to use them? Not really. No need to, overthink that stuff. Tendonitis, here's the thing. Tendonitis is probably the number one issue I see with clients, and it comes from a lot of the grip work. So I'm a big proponent on not getting injured, being healthy, quality of life. I would use VersaGrips right out of the womb, and I'd continue to use them no matter how weak you feel like you are. Will EAAs during a workout help me maintain gain size on a cut? The main thing you need to worry about on a cut is dietary consistency and probably increasing your protein intake by at least 10% overall on a daily basis. Hello, BHI. What's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Mystery Judge, Jury Executioner. I finished my first year, newbie gains 12 pounds. How should my program for progression be in year 2? I would probably, you still got a lot of gas in the tank on year 2. So I would probably suggest aiming for a bulk of 1.5 pounds a month. And you could go 4 or 6 months if you want, then hit a maintenance level to kind of reprime or recharge, and then go back at it for another 4 to 6 months. Terrible lower back pain bending. How can I bend legs at home? If you have terrible lower back pain, the only thing I can say is go see a doctor. My deadlift got stuck at 225 because of grip, so I ordered iron mine straps. When I do double overhand, I can't really do more than 315 because of my grip. When I do over-under, I can do as much as I want. So I've used VersaGrips the whole time, and they haven't impacted my strength at all. All right, guys, I'm about to head out. That is it for questions. You're welcome. I appreciate you guys joining in. Tune in every Friday to listen to the Grumpy Old Man. Tune in every Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern. And I appreciate your guys' support of my channel. I really do. I'm trying to help you guys get away from the nonsense, get away from the noise, get away from the bullshit, and get away from the magic and get yourself, the results you want. So I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to help. You guys, thank you, sir. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.